Holy shamoly. What the heck happened today? Well, we kind of expected this for a little bit of time. We've been talking about this for the last week or so, that 2024 may bring on a little bit of fluctuation in the market. Remember that no market is ever the same. Oftentimes what is the trend in 2023 or 2022 or 2021, it reverses the next year, and there are new themes that emerge. So whenever you have a new year, you're looking to see and you're looking for clues. What the heck happened today? What could happen next week? And what is different from the previous year? So one thing that we talked about just yesterday and the day before is that tech stocks were up 57%. I believe the QQQ was up 57% from A to Z in 2023. So the odds of that happening again are very small. Oftentimes there will be a shift in, or what we would call, there'd be a shift in like what's working, a shift in the themes, right? You know, oftentimes like, you know, people will call this like turnover, right? Like, hey, we're going from this to this, you know, and that type of rotation has always been the key in the market. So we got the nasty down day today. We were down 1.69%. At one point we were down almost 2%, and the action was nasty. If you're looking at the intraday action on the QQQs, right, it was trend down to 11 o'clock. And something to just remember, pocket this into your lexicon of memory. There's something that's happening between 10:30 and 11, which is when the European market closes. We are getting some volatility around that time. So, you know, if you notice, like previous day here, or it was around 11:30, the market kind of bottomed out and bounced. And today is around 11 o'clock. The market had a little bit of a bounce. Nothing substantial, like, wow, I found something crazy. But around that 11 o'clock time, there is something happening when the European market closes. So just kind of be aware of that. But you can see overall, right, market gapped down and actually followed through. Oftentimes when you gap down, right, you back and fill that gap. We actually followed through, then we popped into the VWAP, nice easy short, right? And then you got this move down to 11. And then at this point, look, at this point you have to be careful, right? You can't come in and short down here because this is the QQQ. So you have a 4.19 ATR on the QQQ. What 4.19 ATR means, it's your average true range, right? So from here to here, I mean, you're at almost 8 ATR. Like, you're going to pop up a little bit. ATRs can always expand. We've been compressed. But you want to be careful in the morning when you use up the ATR, especially all my statistics tell me when you're at 2 ATRs, you almost always get a bounce relatively soon in the 15-30 minutes. So you get 2 ATR, you get a bounce, and you kind of fade off into the close. Classic, right, fading action. So we kind of expected that this may have happened. It did happen. We had an awesome day in the chat room in the morning, just shorting some of these things. But now tomorrow's the question, right? So I'm backtracking, pontificating, talking a little bit more than I need to. But tomorrow's the key. So we pulled back to the 20 SMA. You can see the last time we tested 20 SMA, we bounced in the market. So tomorrow's going to be key. Do we break and hold? Do we hold this 20 SMA and this was just a nice 3-day orderly pullback? Or do we look at this and say, we got a little increase in volume today. We've got, right, a lot of volatility. Some stocks were getting sold off. Is this something more to that? So tomorrow will be key. We bounced right off that 400 spot. That was something we were talking about in the pre-market in the chat room. And, you know, we were talking in the nightly video yesterday that would probably be a bounce spot. We came down to it to a T, not because I'm like some levels genius, but just 400 is just like a nice kind of, right, logical number, right? 400 is a nice logical number. We've come down into that, so now we've come down from 413 to 400, so we pulled back about 3%, nothing crazy. But tomorrow will be key. Watch tomorrow's low, today's low. If you break under 400, then all hell breaks loose. We may come back into the 50 or fill some of this gap. We shall see. The IWM held up okay. You know, you are still holding over this big level here, which is your kind of 200 spot, 198 to 200 spot, and you kind of had a pretty orderly pullback. Not as much volume push, so you can see the volume on the IWM pullback is fairly normal, where we had like a little increase in selling today. Not a huge one, but a little increase in selling today in the QQQs. Something to watch if we're looking for some type of rotation from large cap techs to IWM. So we're still holding support here. I think tomorrow is going to be a tell. If we gap down anywhere into this zone from here to here and then reverse back and remount this level, I think that's going to be very bullish. If we don't and we build under this level, then I do think that we're going to have some short-term price fluctuation and volatility. I would keep an eye on the hourly charts here, right? This is your hourly chart, your 4-hour chart, right? Just kind of keep an eye on these levels over here. If you start to break under them, then that's going to be, right, a big tell. So keep an eye on about 198. We shall see what happens after that. Guys, be careful. I suspected this could happen, but today was really nasty. We have to respect the price action on the QQQs, which was, this was down almost 2% on the day. That ain't nothing. So let's watch this 400 level tomorrow. We're getting a little bit of a probably gap up in the post hours. That's to be expected. You know, when the market gets bad, you'll gap up at the end of the day, and then you'll kind of rug it at the close. So just kind of something to be mindful of. So let's take a look at some of the big boys and just kind of dig into the watches. So when the market gets like this, I want to trade the most liquid names possible, right? So Tesla got rugged today multiple times. We shorted this like at the open, you know, cut a little bit of cheese here, and then kind of remounted back and fart around. This is still in a range. Like, you don't have anything here besides like, hey, we're in a range, and it's trading like it's in a range. The pops get faded, the dips get bought, right? It's just a fugazi after fugazi. That's range trading in a nutshell. You have your Google here, right? Your Google had a nice wick down in a 20 SMA. I think if it remounts this area and breaks out, then that's going to be something, you know, that could be hot for tomorrow. Amazon's come right back. So you got breakout, pull back into the level. If it breaks under here, it's going to the 50 SMA. If it doesn't, then if it holds here, then you may come in and test this high, and we'll see, right? You know, this market's needed to pull back for a little bit of time. Let's see. Do we start breaking levels of support or not? What we also want to do is look at the price action, right? Are patterns fading off, or are they getting bought up? Right? Some of these names that we were watching like today, like Uber and stuff to short, bros and non-bros, right? You get down and you follow through. ORB, big shred down, right? Coin. Dude, I had this thing at 172.70, right? Big shred down. Dude, you had so much of this stuff happening. I think tomorrow's going to be a sweet spot, all right? If we can hold these 20 SMAs, so I got coin at the 20 SMA for a dead cat bounce tomorrow. We got Meta, right, at the 20 SMA and this old breakout spot for a dead cat bounce tomorrow, right? I want to stick with the liquid names. You got this at the 20 SMA for a dead cat bounce tomorrow. We want to stick with these really liquid names. But I will tell you, I feel like the market is in this weird spot. You got CVNA here at the 20 SMA, dead can't bounce. But we were talking about this, right? If this loses 52, it's going to tank, and it's doing that. Stocks like this get shredded the most when the market rolls over. But I want to see tomorrow, if the 20 SMA holds and this is just a kind of dead cat bounce, we may get some dead cat bounces here. But we have to be careful because, see, the EMAs are rolling over. See how you used to pull when they're curling up like this is different. When the 9 EMA starts to roll, you can pull back into 20 SMA, but you're going to have some more fluctuation. AMD, let's watch this 20 SMA and this. Somewhere between 136 and 132. I think we could bounce as we retest that level, right? I want to see a gap down into these zones, a little bit under the 20 SMAs on some of these names, and then a break back over to try to get long, right? And I think these are probably going to be more dead cat bounces. I want to see this gap down into 20. Then I will try to long. That's a nice kind of $10, $12 pullback. Now, once again, this is heavy selling. I do not believe that they will just bounce and break out the highs. When stocks get this extended, you need oftentimes weeks to months to, you need oftentimes long periods of time to heal. And your stocks go through long periods of time of congestion, of consolidation. So if you look at the Qs, right, like when you were cruising in July, right, you ended up with this like huge, like multi-month sideways movement, right? So what I want to do tomorrow is if the QQQs holds the 20 SMA, this is just a 3-day pullback, then I want to long the stocks that are on the 20 SMA. Right? You want something like a coin, you want something like a Meta, right? These kind of 20 SMA names, right? Something like, right, like a Netflix, right? Something that's just pulled back, right, into some big support zones. I don't think you need to get more crazy than that. I was even thinking maybe some, right, you could do some calls on Apple at the 50 SMA. I just don't know if this is an easy bounce, right? I've been saying caution for like a couple of weeks, and now things are starting to come ahead, you know. But the worst thing we can do is start to short. The worst thing we can start to do is short when the market is already down 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. So we got to be a little bit careful, right? If we get a decent pop in Uber tomorrow, right? You're at the lower Bollinger Band, you could refade it, but like you can see if this gap's down tomorrow, then it's a rubber band long, right? You've got lower Bollinger Band. If it gaps down tomorrow, you're going to trigger some oversold readings, you know, and we could get a dead cat bounce tomorrow too. But what I want to do, if I'm going to get long tomorrow, I want to see a gap down, right? I want to see a gap down. If I don't get a gap down, then it's a no bueno. So like I'm not even going to, right? We're not even trying to do this. Couple relative strength plays that I really like. SCCELH, love this. Trend line break. Dude, big amount of shorts. It's hot, right? Hims, the boner pills. Man, I've been telling you guys this for 3 days, right? That this is going to go at some point. Today it broke its flag. It tested its first level of resistance. I still think this is going to hit 12. Beautiful action, a little increase in volume. This is just a tried and true, right? Like these bottom plays get picked up even if the market shifts, but you just had such a clean level here, right? On multiple time frames, you came into this. We'll see what goes on. I like this for a day 2. And then I like setting, right? I like setting still. We'll see if it tests the 20 SMA. It rolled the heck over today, so it's not like my favorite, but we'll see how it reacts, like some of these solars. They rolled the heck over, but that could have been because of the market. But you had this nice relative strength in the morning. We'll see if this thing holds, and we'll have a show and go. Sellich is the best one out of the group, I personally think, right? And then, you know, watch for these MA bounces. You got Roku on the 50 SMA. That's at about a 2-week pullback. This is kind of where you want to go. You want to look at stocks. Are you on the 50, the 20? Run your scans for that. That's going to be a big help. Guys, let me know if you have any questions. This is nasty out there. Be cautious, right? The key for tomorrow is, do you hold at this level or not? If you start to bounce, then you can take some of these bounce plays. If you break under 400, you're coming back probably to the 50-day moving average. It's abort, and then go short. Best part about day trading is you can flip on a dot. If you're swing trading, I would say I'd start taking profits or raising stop losses personally, and then rejiggering this, you know, when the market settles a little bit. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. Take care.